story that is a little bit different. In the story of Job, we know that Job was known to God as a righteous, upstanding man. And there come a time where Satan was just kind of wandering around, going in and out of the earth. And he said, so have you ever considered my servant Job? And Satan said, well, yeah, of course I've considered him. I mean, you give him everything he wants. Why wouldn't he praise and worship and everything? He's got everything. He said, why don't you just let me touch him just a little bit? And God says, all right, I'm going to let you touch him a little bit, but you can't kill him. You do whatever you want, but you can't kill him. All he takes is kids. He takes everything. The idea of the story is that, for the most part, there was a door that was not open, and God allowed this door to be opened just to show him that I know my people. But if you open your own door, well, that's a whole different story. Now, Job was able to recover from that and actually end up with more than what he even started with before. But for the most part, something's got to be opened. It's like you're giving permission. Anytime you walk out of the righteousness of God or the upstanding of those things God has asked you to do within His Word, then it's like, well, if you're going to be on the team, you have to play by the rules. And if you start straying away from the rules, well, then there's going to be consequences.
Well, we even see Satan plays by the rules.
Even Satan, and that's the one thing I think people, they put Satan in this category of this horrible monster-looking evil thing. Yeah. And I don't believe that at all. I think we're dealing with a very, very cunning, smooth operator here. Yeah. One that can go up into heaven and God say, well, what are you doing today? And, well, I'm just going, in and out, to and fro the earth, whatever. Yeah. Just being cool about it, Well, there's other demons that are just plain nasty. But Satan's a little smarter, and he just real smooth about everything. A little here, a little there. Nice and easy, because we're going to get it all done.
Well, we've talked to
like somebody who's really good at gambling or something, like a professional gambler. Yeah. You don't see him walking, they're all nervous and jumping on stuff. He's all cool, got his glasses on, nice and relaxed. He sits down, puts his money out, nice and smooth, no problems, because he's confident in what he's doing.
And so he blows it all. Then
what?
But yeah, that's true.
Kinda, yeah.
And I think too, like, people think of, Satan as, well, a lot of people think he's in hell, which we've obviously established he's not, and that there's demons, and the Bible is clear. It talks about the spirit of fear and the spirit of this and the spirit of that. So, these spirits are everywhere. We call them unclean spirits or demons, but...
They have them washed.
Yeah. What? Have them washed? I'm like, wait, yeah? What?
It won't be dirty anymore.
Well, demons and their power can manifest through different ways, too. Like, some people, let's say, you're not under a curse, but if you've been physically abused or raped, that can come on to you. I've heard a lot of stories like that where they have haunting stuff happen to them after something like that happens. And that gives permission to the demon to come out of the person.
Well, if you're not on the protective side, your door is actually always open then.
I knew a girl when I was in my 20s, and she was a friend of mine from high school.
Oh, like last week, you mean?
No. From high school? Yes, thank you. But she started dating this guy who I knew was involved.
My birthday was this week.
Happy birthday, Scott.
Mm-hmm. My birthday was on the 20th.
Okay. You were just making sure everybody knows that.
No, I just thought I'd shoot it out there. Yeah. I mean,
has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It's not that I don't want 10,000 emails or anything this week.
Okay.
We got one email that just said, here's your email. Now go to bed, Scott.
Be happy.
I laughed so hard.
So thank you for that email. Scott laughed a lot.
Here's your email. Go to bed.
Oh, you're going to start cracking up. I just want to tell the story.
I tried. I couldn't
right?
sleep after that and I was laughing.
Okay. So I knew this girl, and she was dating a guy who I knew was involved with Satan practices. I don't even want to get into what he was doing, like, I didn't know her well enough when I reconnected with her to tell her, and I thought maybe he had changed. I didn't know. And then I ran into her again, like, somewhere a couple years later, and they'd gotten married. And she was talking about all this haunting stuff. We're going to move because our house is haunted. I'm like, no, duh, what'd you think, And she gets divorced from him, because I ran into her again. They get divorced, and she's still dealing with it. And her kid has night terrors, and he was like 6 or whatever. So, I mean, it happens.
Isn't it? It's ironic, but the hardest people to help are the ones that are closest to you.
Yeah, because they won't listen.
Friends, relatives, sisters, brothers. It's almost impossible to help them. But you can take strangers, like maybe some of you. Not that any of you are strange. I should say people we don't know. And
No
they're
one's
willing to
stranger than
listen
us.
and take advice, but you tell a family member or a friend, and they won't listen. So, like your little story, you could have told her all day long, you need to do this or that, and this around, they won't listen.
Nope.
They won't listen.
No, and I didn't.
Which
even
is biblical in
think
itself, saying that, hey, even your own family will come against you.
Yeah, they won't listen.
They won't listen.
But that's why I love our listeners for the podcast.
I love all our listeners.
Because
I even love the listeners that don't love us.
me too, because they make it fun, and it's good to have a
Did you
diverse
know
group.
that Jesus loves everybody?
Yes.
Everybody. I don't care what you've done. He loves everybody. The only difference is he hates sin.
Right.
So
He loves people. He
loves
hates
people
the sin.
and all that he's created, but he hates sin. So get rid of your sin, and then he'll love you more.
Well, Jesus loves everybody, and it's Scott's birthday. Can I go on? All right.
Oh,
So
when was that?
May 20th.
Oh,
So another way that
can't believe you
curses
said that.
can
That's
manifest is if
Say it's
through
your
your
birthday.
friendships, places with demonic energy too, or objects. When we allow,
Birthday.
Scott,
What?
can I go on? With,
Yes, read.
Okay,
I'm not stopping you.
You are stopping me.
I'm not stopping
You're
you.
singing. There's objects, cursed objects. When we allow them to have control,
Like this pencil can get out of control on a piece of paper and start
it's
scribbling.
gonna come out of control. It's gonna.
You could stab me with a pencil.
I'm just saying, no, I wouldn't do that, but it could. I won't. But I'm saying, yeah, pencil is a tool, but you could use it wrong.
You could.
But, some people give drugs control, alcohol control, or objects. Remember, like the doll Annabelle? It was just a stupid doll, and then she started
Annabelle,
giving
I
it
remember
control.
Annabelle.
Yeah. Well, we talked
Sweet
about it.
Annabelle.
You know another thing
Dun, dun, dun.
that
What?
can cause a curse? A lot of people don't know hypnosis.
Saying bad words?
Hypnosis.
That's a curse.
When you
You
go
have curse words.
when you go to like those shows or whatever, and they put you on a hypnosis, if they're real, I don't, I've never been to one, but
They say that's a problem.
Because-
Hypnosis is
yeah,
a problem.
because they are taking control of your mind. You're giving somebody permission, and that a lot of times I've only seen it once.
That's a whole nother show in itself. Is conscious and subconscious,
Yeah.
and when you get into the hypnosis, you're dealing with the subconscious.
Spiritual.
Is not someplace you're supposed to be, or
Right.
somebody else is supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's a realm that God's in control of, and He allows whatever's going to come in and out of that subconscious is through His permission and His.
Yeah.
You can have bad dreams; they were allowed. A lot of times they're messaginal. Is that a word? Messaginal.
No,
Messaging.
a message.
To be messaged, or just the act of messaging. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's His control, anyways.
yeah, it's
Stay
true.
focused, Eddie.
I'm trying. So, and through our own actions, these are our own actions. What we do will fall onto our children and our grandchildren every time. And that's one thing when we talk to our clients, we let them know. They're like, well, can we just leave the ghost here? It's like, no. I mean, why would you want that? Because they suck up our
We've
energy.
run across a lot of people that just want to, I just want to know that we had one.
And we've had people call us back like a year or
What?
two later and say, okay, never mind, we went this thing out. We should have been there the first time, So it's messed up.
Don't you like levitating when you sleep? You wanted a soft bed, nothing better than air.
Now, this isn't a generational curse, but there's some interesting things. You know the movie Poltergeist, the old, it was in the 80s?
Yeah.
Okay, that movie was pretty freaky, I thought. They're redoing it, this summer. I think it's coming out.
Haven't they redid it once already?
Not that I'm aware of. I know they had like 3 or 4 or 5 of them or whatever,
okay.
but they're redoing it.
Right.
But 4 out of 6 of the actors, the main actors, died within the first 6 years.
After they made the movie.
Yeah. Okay, you remember the little girl, the hair here, that one? Well, she died. She supposedly had the flu, they thought. And I don't know why. It was like a stomach flu or something. I don't know why she was on the operating table for the flu. But she died on the operation table. And then, remember, oh, God, he freaked me out. The scary old man. Did you know he was like old guy and he had the black hat. Did you see that one? Huh. Okay, so he was freaky.
Dude.
Oh.
Had to watch his stuff in the 80s.
He died of cancer, okay, that's a natural thing.
Every rose has its
what does that have to do with what
80s.
we're... Oh, God.
Everything revolves around the 80s.
I know. Okay, and then I think it was like in the third one or something, there was an Indian actor, or maybe he was in the second one, I don't know. But he died on the operation table. And then the older daughter in the movie, she was killed by her boyfriend. Yeah. And then the actress, the main actress, Jo Beth Williams, she said that after the set every day, she would go to her home and, like, her house was haunted. She said pictures were off. And, you're thinking, well, what's the big deal? It was just a movie that they were filming. But you know what they did? They used real human remains in those scenes.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like when they were in the pool and all those... real human remains. No, don't. So if you guys are listening and you want to make a movie, don't use real human remains.
Don't need to lose your head over the deal.
Oh, lame.
I'd give my arm and leg to have this role.
And another cursed movie, Passion of the Christ. A lot of people don't know that movie has a curse over it. The first assistant director, he was struck by lightning not once, but twice. Who does that happen to? During the movie. Not like 2 times in his life, 2 times during the movie. And then the actor who played Jesus, he was struck by lightning. At one point, smoke was coming out of his ears. That's not normal. Like, you think somebody would have been like, Satan doesn't want us making this movie or something, Yeah. And then the main actor, he also dislocated his shoulder during the movie. His flesh was ripped off by a prop. He ended up having a case of hypothermia. He was in the hospital. He had a case of pneumonia. He was in the hospital. He had severe headaches. He got skin infections. All those things are actually demonic in the Bible. The headaches, the skin infections, dislocated bones, flesh being... all that stuff.
And we even know that Mel Gibson kind of went nuts.
Yeah. Which was really weird because, okay, so here's this guy, and he's a Christian. I think he was Catholic, Roman Catholic or something. And he makes this movie, which is, like about Jesus and about the Jews and everything. And when he went nuts, he went in this drunken rage, rambling things. And at some point, the cops were saying that they thought he was speaking in tongues, like demonic. And he was talking bad about the Jews. It's like, what? Weren't you just their buddy like a year ago?
Well, the thing is, and those that have seen Passion of the Christ, I think it's about as close as to biblical as you're going to get.
Oh, yeah.
The tools that were utilized during the beatings and all the facts and the way it was presented was about as I don't think you could do any better.
Definitely not.
That was done.
That was
and nine times out of 10, all of your Hollywood movies are way off, but not this one.
Yeah. And then...
Which is the problem, because Satan doesn't want to see that exposed.
No, he doesn't want truth exposed. So he doesn't want any glory going to God.
Actually, the Jewish people. But, it's...
yeah.
It's all meant to be. It all had to be. So.
And then the 1975 movie, The Omen. So, okay, the movie kid, the one who played the Antichrist, okay. Well, the guy who played his father, his son committed suicide. And then a plane which had him and the executive producer on, that was struck by lightning. But hours earlier... The scriptwriter was on a plane and was struck by lightning. And then a crew member was in a car accident during the movie. And then, then they are renting this private plane. They're hiring it to use in a couple scenes of the movie. But that plane first had like a run to do with a couple businessmen. But so before they could get that plane, somewhere it just took off. Something went wrong, and the plane crashed into a car, into the road. And then a car crashed into the plane. And then another car crashed into that car, and everybody died. That's
crazy.
Whoa. That's nuts. So they
didn't use the plane?
I don't think so. Unless they're going to put it back together as a toy plane or something.
It's good to know these things.
So it's interesting because you've got a movie that had to do with ghosts, and and then you had a movie that had to do with Jesus, and then you had a movie to do with the devil, and they were all cursed. Sort of interesting. And then...
Well, you can open up a gate by telling too much truth.
Oh, yeah. They don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like nails on chalkboard.
So, your question is, well, do you guys experience things? Do you have problems? Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We have lots of problems.
Ever since we started this podcast, we've been having issues.
Yeah, a lot of issues.
So, and then a curse can be called.
But you know, hey, it's something you learn to deal with, right, babes?
That's right. That's why you're nice and strong to protect me.
Savvy love.
A curse can be called upon someone too. There's
like the Kennedy family.
Yes. Do you know about that curse?
I do.